complete bug soup. It triggers this response, and the DNA starts reconstructing a butterfly out of those same cells. But the caterpillar's gone and the butterfly's not there yet. When you think, what is this life? This is not me. It's you knowing it's time to transform.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My morning already happened. I am home today. I told the Instagrammers that I don't feel like leaving the house unless something is urgent. The heat has been crazy. I've been losing my mind. The last time, the last video that we did, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch. I had gone out to meet with a friend and we were discussing some personal projects, whatever. So, and it was also Galentine's, whatever. And I'm like, let me also do like a bit of like a vlog situation, right? Which I did. And it was great. After our vlog, we, went into business. Started talking about the stuff that's coming up, whatever. And it was great. So after that, we grabbed some cookies, some brownies, and it's a cafe. Meanwhile, those cookies and brownies were so good, guys. If you could go to Oak Cafe and get their cookies or their brownie, oh my god, the cookies, crazy. And I don't even like sweet things. I don't like cake. I'm just not a sweet tooth person. I'm a savory person, but those things were such a hit. My sister was so excited. Like, she's the one, she has a sweet tooth, so she likes anything sweet. Like, she gets, she jumps up and down. And she's those type of people where, how you go for a wedding, like we could go for weddings, be it's for my cousins, whatever it is. And, we like to talk so much. So after eating, people tend to give so many speeches, which is, so at some point, we can be like, man, we're trying to beat traffic. Let's go. My sister will be like, Banangi, why haven't you tasted that cake? Girl, you cannot like cake that much. Me, I don't. Like, I can just leave. I don't even think about it twice. And every time, and I feel like cake is kind of the way you see like champagne. Like, you don't have to have much of it. Just like one piece is good. The same way you have like a glass of champagne and, celebrate whoever you're celebrating. Or if it's you and you landed a big job, celebrate yourself and call it a day. But you can't drink 4 bottles of champagne. It's just overkill. The heat was so much. I cussed in that car. I cussed. And I was like, Carol, you know what? I just feel like moving forward, at least until, the weather settles. Why don't we stay indoors? Do you understand? And I told the grandmas, if you see me on YouTube so much and I'm just at home, guys, it's not that I don't have anything to do. I just want to do these things when I'm here at home, safe, because that's hell out there. That's hell. That's what's going on. That's the fire of hell. That's how it feels outside. I'm home chilling. I'm sorry I'm not even looking presentable, guys. Sometimes you just don't want to do the most. Like, as a creative, you always want to show up looking posh and cute and put together. I can't be perfect all the time. And also I'm home. Like, guys, just let me be. This is what I usually wear when I'm going for my workout situation. It's a pair of what is it, like leggings, navy. Back in the day I had bought a bunch, maroon, black, gray, and then later they just started to bore me. I threw them out. But because I started to walk, I went and looked for them. They were around. And then this navy shirt. Girl, I'm just home. So I told the grandmas, guys, unless something is urgent that really needs me to leave the house, I will leave. But if it's not and I can work around it, I'll stay home. Although I just feel I'm doing badly when it comes to like my facial situation. I feel my facial hair is a bit there. Like, my eyebrows have grown out. I was trying to grow them back. The last time some chick butchered my brows. So I'm very proud that I persevered and they've grown. My lashes, complete botch job. And I was thinking to myself, maybe I just let them completely fall out, so that when I do visit a new lash person, they start fresh with like a clean slate. Yeah, so the lashes are not looking cute, the eyebrows are crazy, and then on top of that I have a new wig. Like when you wear a new wig, it's nice when you look put together, and I want that for myself. Oh, let me grab my kachai. This is okra tea. I found okra. I've been taking okra water. Very disgusting. But while I was in the supermarket shopping sometime, I discovered okra powder. So they roast, I think they roast it or something, which takes away the slime. So you can just take it with your cup of tea. And guys, I'm not kidding. It tastes like freaking coffee. I wanted to wait for it to really cool and get to like a warm state, because now the sun has come up, then you start to, so I had to really cool down, then I just gallop because I'm not wasting my okra powder mkwano. My sister traveled, I think, for a wedding yesterday, so she had to get up early. She was going up country, and I woke up, I think it was 12 in the morning. Like, you know how you just turn and then the light is on, you know, I would tell the light was on from the other side of the house. I'm like, okay. I just continued sleeping. So I think people were up early helping my sister pack and leave. And then when she left, they were still awake. So early in the morning, me, when I woke up, I think I woke up around 8. They had gone back to nap. And then again, it's a weekend. Why not? Am I right? I wake up, there's complete silence in the house. And the sink was full. Besties, the sink was full. I was like, oh god, oh dear. And I don't like a full sink, none of that. I hate it. I always want to wake up to like a clean spot. You know, you go there at the kitchen, grab your cup. If you're making yourself a cup of tea, like everything is clean and nice. Like, I like that. So I was like, you know what, let me do some dishwork. So I was there washing dishes. But while I was washing dishes, of course, I had laid my bed. I'd done a bit of organization on my part. Yesterday, my sister came to my room and she wanted something, and I was trying to get it for her in my storage bins. And then she was like, Carol, I'd love to see when you get your own place. Like, because the level of organization I have. Sweetie, if I got my own place, I feel like a lot of times the things that are hindering me to reach that potential of like lifestyle living, the lifestyle I want, is because I live with people. That's what's hindering me, because there are so many things I would be changing. There is a form of structure I would be having. I would have a timetable for everything. I would have these itty bitty routines locked in like crazy. Like, there are so many things I would do. Like, even my diet. My diet has failed to change because I live at home, and half the time my mom, my aunt is the ones cooking, and we eat a lot of, like, of course, local food, be cheap, but carbs and whatnot. It'd be easy for me to make those adjustments because I'll be by myself. I'll be meal prepping and all that stuff. And then someone will come and be like, but Cara, why haven't you moved out? I haven't moved out because it's not a priority right now for me. I don't have any curfew. I don't feel any restraint when I'm home. I don't feel that inconvenience when I'm home. I feel like I have my own space either way. And also, it's just the sense of community that's nice. You know, sometimes you want to wake up and like there are people around you. You know, when you go to town, you come back, you know, they've cooked for you. Breakfast is there, lunch is there. It's nice. It's mom's house. Sometimes you just hear like, you know, direct interpretation for those who are not Westerners. It means you're welcome. So people are always coming in, which sometimes I might find frustrating because I could be filming content. I could be doing a voiceover. I need silence. I just could want to reboot and I want peace. You understand? But there's noise. That's when I'm like, ugh. But I can't say I wake up every morning and it's something that I have to do. I don't. I actually have massive peace. And because of that, it puts this, it doesn't make it a need. It's more of a want. So it's at the bottom of my list for now. But as we are growing, you know, me before your eyes and you watching me, this is a journey that you take with me when I do get to do that. You get? But for now, I don't feel the pressure so much. You get? I don't feel that pressure. If anything, the time when I said, me, I want to get my own spot, hey, my mom was so mad. Sometimes I just want a bit of peace. And also, that's why I love that I get up so early. Like every time I get up at 6, I feel, like that is the exact moment that I need to center myself, to hang out with myself. Like, guys, it's so quiet outside. I do a lot of breath work. At the time, I do like a slight meditation. I'm still trying to master meditation. You know how people talk about meditation, like, oh, silence, it must be, you have to center your brain, you have to, da, 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 da. Me, I can't, because my brain moves so fast, honey buns. I'm always on the go, go, go in my head. I could be sitting in a couch like this, quiet, but then in my head, honey, it is that crazy traffic there downtown that happens. That's what's happening in my brain. Also, when you're trying to center yourself, all those random emotions just start popping up for no reason. You start thinking of something that happened and how maybe you didn't handle it well. It now sort of squeezes in. I stopped fighting that. I found that meditation for me is a time that I take to feel. So whatever emotion presents itself, and something that happened that makes me feel bad, I want to feel that. That is what I do during meditation. Oh, that's good. Because I crave this silence half the time, whatever. That is a hack that I found for myself. It's like, get up early. Everyone is still sleeping. Take a moment to yourself, or go walk like I usually do, and that gives me time. By the time I come home, and of course we are back to the ruckus, I've taken some time to myself for that day. I had woken up this morning, people were sleeping, the house was quiet. I went in the kitchen after, of course, I had laid my bed and done my whole thing. And I was like, I hate how the kitchen looks like. And initially I had planned to go and walk because the weather I think it rained last night, so the weather was calm. I was like, girl, this is a perfect opportunity for me to go and walk. But I had not woken up the time I usually do. I had woken up at 8. Usually I wake up at 6. Do a slight morning breathwork moment, meditation, lay my bed, put on whatever I need to put up. By 6:30, I'm opening that door, I'm stepping out. I'm doing some light stretches to prep me for my walk. Then I proceed. So I come back at 7:30. 7:30, of course, undressing, prep for the shower, whatever. I get into the shower at 8. So I have a system. But because I woke up late, I was sort of like, maybe I still have time to go and do the walking because there was no sunshine. But then I saw that mess in the kitchen. I'm like, let me first do this. Usually when I go on my walks, I have my podcasts, ready to go. So I would listen to Mel. But because I didn't take my walk, I'm in my outfit already, I just decided I could listen to Mel by the kitchen. So I was at the outside kitchen with my tab watching YouTube, the episode that I wanted to listen to. I was doing it there while I was washing the dishes. And that for me is habit stacking. I like to do that. So something I could have done, I now put it while I'm doing this particular activity. Can I call it that? While I'm doing this particular job, then I'm also doing this at the same time. So it helps me kill two birds with one stone. And that is something when my goal for the day, I can tick off like, yes, I listened to the podcast. I might not have worked out today, which is fine, but I did listen to the podcast and I did do some bit of like cleaning around, present, and I'm taking in the moment, which is something I love to do. I love to indulge myself in mindful activities. Podcast took about an hour and a half, why it was so long, and because the dishes were like this, but I wrapped them up, I cleaned everywhere. Then I came and I sat here while I had my cup of okra tea. And that's when you guys decided to join me. Just the thought of that habit stacking thing that I was doing, I wanted to have a conversation with you guys around that. Oh, this is so cute. Love. Sorry, guys. I put down my notes somewhere because I was gauging this yesterday. I have, on Instagram where you like save stuff. I have a collection because you can call them different names. There's one collection which is called because I was looking to change my style, my fashion style. So I have a name for that. And then I have a collection that I call Caro Wins. Under Caro Wins, I post so many quotes. Like guys, you know I'm a quotes girly. If you follow me on Instagram, the first thing I do when I wake up on social media is post a quote. I love a good quote. I don't know if you guys like roll like that, but it's so good. I wanted to speak to you guys on consistency. Someone had sent me a text, sorry, a DM, and she was like, so motivated by your level of consistency. I like to do the same. I've started to do, certain things that can help me, power through and whatnot. And the thing is that people don't realize that, actually, let me be honest, I am not a 100% consistent person. Siri mkwan. Sometimes things fail me. The night before, I would be like, this is what I'm going to do tomorrow morning, Katia. Put out my plan. And I'm so excited, honey buns. And I'm feeling focused. I'm feeling on track. We're going to get it down. I would either sleep in, because sometimes when you wake up and the sleep is so good, you're like, you know what, it's not that deep. And especially if I don't have anything I'm doing that day, I'll find myself saying, I'll just do this tomorrow. Now later when the sleep has worn off, I'm completely awake, then I would start to beat myself up. Like, why didn't you wake up, Carol? You promised. Now we have to wait for tomorrow again to start fresh. Let me tell you something. When you've been consistent about something and you backtrack, right? Sometimes you backtrack a day, it's fine, it's okay. The day passes, do it again. Do not allow yourself to backtrack more than 4 times, because then you're never going to make it happen. You're going to continue starting fresh over and over again. So when you say you went to the gym today, you did your thing, you woke up tomorrow, muscle pulls zikuta, you can take a rest, it's fine, right? Today is Monday, tomorrow you couldn't make it, Wednesday, go. At least do some level of something. So in terms of consistency, I would say one thing I do is that I just try to focus on one thing at a time. Yeah, so sometimes I'm over ambitious. I want to change so many things at once. We are human beings, honey. I tell we need to give ourselves grace. You don't have to do all those things at the same time, and also because you find it overwhelming, it's hard for you to stay consistent because you've overbatched. This year, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. Girl, and you're going to go back to your old routines because you've over created all these things at the same time. I would say that how about every year you can try to conquer one thing, just one. And also it will help if you keep some sort of like a calendar or something like to track, just to help you see, the days you managed, the days you did, and just try to make adjustments accordingly. You could say this year I want to conquer, I want to be fit, and that's what you do. From January to December, that's what you've done. You have run miles, you have walked, you have even like joined these, they have like these, what they call them, boot camps, like Saturdays where what they are doing for 2 hours. You've conquered. By the time like September, you're like, whew, girl. And then you will tell yourself, the year 2025, that is when I really went in with fitness. Perhaps every year we just pick one thing that we can strive to conquer or strive to be. I feel like it's easier to track, it's easier to stay consistent, it's easier to master it fast before you add something else. Does that make sense? I hope so. Yeah, because that's how I do it. And there's something I do intend to conquer this year, and that is the one thing I'm focusing on. It's slowing me down a bit, but I know by God I will do it. Like just that one thing, if I can do it by the end of 2025 and look back and say, Caroline, yes, you did. That is what I want for myself. The other thing that I would recommend is make it simple. Make it simple. It doesn't have to be hard. Make it simple. Sometimes all you have to do is just get through one day. One day, and you've done a bit of that particular thing. Life is good. Do you understand? Make it simple. I'll give you an example. I told myself that this year I would love to get into my reading. So, because I have not been... I used to read so much back in the day, but when I say back in the day, I mean school days, right? I used to enjoy them so much, but with the rise of tech, with the rise of social media, with me working on social, it became something that I started to struggle with. And I would find every time I open a book or whatever, I would just start dozing. Either start dozing or my attention span goes left, or I'm like, it's boring, grab my phone. Do you understand? So I said, Carol, how can I manage this? Because I would love to see myself in December and be like, oh my God, this is my Calito library that I created this year. This is what I read this year. This is what I learned this year. So I said, you know what we do? We start small. So I said I would read a chapter a day. I said I would read a book a month, a chapter a day. First month was Sunny. You guys know the book I was reading. Second month, we are on Psychology of Money. I'm on chapter, what's the date today? Because that's how I monitor the chapter I've reached. Today is the 15th. I'm on chapter 15. Or rather, I'm reading chapter 15 today. The book has 20 chapters. So by the 20th, I would have wrapped it up. Fingers crossed. But there are days where it hasn't worked out, and that's the truth. I haven't read for 2 days. What do I do? On the third day, I have to read all 3 chapters. That's a non-negotiable that I told myself. It's like we have to read 3 chapters. We have to read what you missed the other day, what you missed yesterday, and today's. We have to. And by God, guys, I will be in my bed and I will kill those 3 chapters. That's how I've made it easier, by breaking it down. Because when you find something is easier to do, it is easy to stay consistent, darling. If you complicate things, you will not be able to conquer that habit. This is my favorite. This is my absolute favorite. Build it into your routine. Girl, if you want to stay consistent, whatever that thing is you're trying to conquer, build it into your routine. Now, I am testimony to this, honey. I conquered my skincare routine. I wasn't always consistent. I wasn't always into these skin things. Me, I used to see skin as like banange ka vibe, ka self-care Sunday moment. Right now, as I speak to you, it's not a self-care situation at all. Actually, when people are like, do a self-care video, I low-key don't want to include skin because it has become so routine for me that I don't see it that way. It's almost like me laying my bed. Yes, this is part of a routine, but I just see it as mandatory. I see it as a way of loving myself, of starting my day. You know, you're disciplined by just doing this one act of waking up in the morning and laying your bed consistently. The day I don't lay my bed and I go to town, I feel disorganized. I don't know what it is. I just feel like I've started my day backwards, because this is the first thing I do every time I wake up. You know, showing up for yourself is also the small things. You waking up and laying your bed, you going to take a shower, that's showing up for yourself. It's also a form of love and self-care in itself. When I started to buy these products and stuff, I was extremely frustrated with the way I looked. I hated the way I looked, girl. And even worse, I hated the way I felt inside. I was living a very crazy lifestyle in form of I was aimless. I had no purpose. I was just going with where the wind took me. That is a dangerous way to live, my love, because you're not present. You're going with who someone has said, oh, let's go do this. You're running. You just have no values, no sense of self. You don't have any self-worth. It was dangerous. I was living a dangerous life back in the day. So because I was living that sort of life, I hated how I felt within. I just felt like I had no purpose, no sense of direction. And if you know that feeling, you know you feel that emptiness. It's such a horrible feeling, and I don't wish it on anyone, by the way. Whatever I was feeling inside, it started to transpire outside. I started to look the way I was feeling on the inside. My skin was the dogs. Just miserable, man. Nothing made me happy. Nothing made me happy. And also remember, then there was zero self-awareness. So you don't even know, what should I do? Or like, can I make an opinion for myself? Can I think for myself? I couldn't, babes. And I just woke up one morning and I got sick of living that kind of life. I got sick and sick and sick. But I said, okay, what do we do to try and change something? I'm like, the first thing I'm going to do is to work on my appearance. That's what I'm going to do. When you take time for yourself, when you wake up in the morning and you go in the bathroom and you take that shower, you're cleaning yourself, and also washing yourself is also a mindful act. Be present while you do it. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing for you to appreciate the body that you're in. When you take time to do that, that is love. That is love you're giving to yourself. You went, you bought yourself a nice soap, a nice shower gel that smells nice. That is a form of love that you're giving yourself. I was like, let me first show up for myself by taking care of me. So that's when I started to do a lot of research, because no one at that time, at least in UG, was on the internet talking about stuff like this. No one was. And I looked, trust me, I searched, because you're trying to find someone who you can relate with, someone who has been where you're at. But I couldn't find nothing. So I used to watch a lot of creators that were in the States, abroad, and these skincare people. And like, I started from scratch, like where they would have videos of skincare for beginners. I started there. I started to read about stuff. I started to buy stuff. There was a lot of trial and error. Slowly, I started to get into the momentum. Things started to progress. Things started to make sense. And because I started to see it, I started now to go harder, because I was like, oh my God, it's working, it's working. And that's when I started to do my content, by the way, on social, FYI. Before I was seeing the changes, I started to get frustrated. I was like, I've been doing these things for a month. I don't see anything. As in, girl, I would always look in the mirror every morning like, honey, let me tell you something. I used to go to my sister's room. My room didn't have a mirror at that time. I used to go to my sister's room to use her mirror. She would be on her bed. Either she's on her phone or something, or she's just packing her stuff to go to work, or like stuff. I'll be there. My gosh. Actually, when I think about it, it makes me want to cry. Oh my God. It makes me want to cry, because girl, I will not be crying on Beyonce's internet. It makes me want to cry, because I remember how I felt. The emptiness I felt. Oh my God. Shit, girl. Oh my God. I used to laugh at people who used to cry on the internet. Oh my God. Oh my God. Where did that come from? I used to feel so empty. And I wanted this so bad for myself, that every time I would look in the mirror and do, I used to feel sadness. Do you understand? Like, oh my God. I've gathered myself with hope. But I used to feel incredible sadness. Like, I can't describe how I used to feel at that point. Like, it's so, girl, I can't even, but like, I felt an emptiness, a sadness, and I wanted to get rid of it so bad, but I didn't know how. I didn't know how to begin. I'm even shaking. I didn't know where to begin. I didn't know what to do. So I started small. That was the only way that I could at least feel a level of control, that now I have control of this. Now I'm going to work on this. It was by starting to take care of my appearance. I couldn't look myself in the mirror for the longest time. I couldn't do it. I couldn't, because I felt such disappointment. Or, like I said, you're aimlessly moving the world. You don't know where you're headed. You don't know. You're just doing what, everyone is asking you to do, whatever, to just have a sense of control or something. But there was no control. There was nothing. I started with what I could control, and that was taking care of how I looked. You get? Oh my God. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I started to do that. When I started to do that, I say to myself, I'm tired of always looking in the mirror and seeing no change, and always expecting change. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to build it in my routine. Every morning, this is what I know I'm supposed to do. Every evening, I'll do it. Morning, evening, I started to be consistent with my routine. It started to become a part of me. It stopped being that feel-good vibe you only do on Sunday. It started to become an everyday thing. So I built it into my routine. So if there's something that you're hoping to change, and there's a new habit you want to pick up on that's stunning, incorporate it into your routine. I don't know what your routine is. You could do it in the morning. You say you want to incorporate water. Put a bottle of water by your bedside. When you wake up, drink that. See how you can still incorporate water throughout the day. You can buy one of those bottles, the ones that measure like the liters. They actually have the ones that are written on, you're doing great. Buy those. When you're at your desk, take. Put some lemon, put some fruits to make it tasty. If you want to start journaling, when you're finished dressing up, and usually take a cup of coffee before you leave the house, perhaps while you're taking your cup of coffee, you're doing something, you're writing your morning reflection of the day, I don't know, something, whatever it is you want to do. Make it a natural part of your day, incorporate it into your daily routine, then you won't have to rely on motivation to, get you through it. The other thing, track your progress. There's something about jointing things down that make them so real. What gets measured gets managed. I have like a habit tracker. There are so many apps you can use where you can just, every day this is what I did. And let me tell you, when you write like a to-do list, I've done a to-do list before and I do them sometimes, whatever. And then I find myself like doing this. It makes me feel good when I do this. Yes, bitch. It's such a good feeling, darling. So track your progress. And like when you finish 3 months, you can go back, look at it and be like, look at me. To always remind you where you've come from. And you always need those reminders, especially on days where you're feeling down. You will need that reminder, darling. Staying disciplined. I don't feel like I'm one to talk about discipline because I am not the best when it comes to discipline. I am a live in the moment type of girly, Carol. But I get to get yeah. And it's something that I continue to try and conquer. One of the podcasts I listened to, they said motivation comes and goes, but discipline is what keeps you moving. And that is what you need to strive for. You need to strive for discipline, and discipline is not easy. So how do I manage with this thing of discipline, right? I'm not perfect, but how do I try to manage it? By setting reminders, by scheduling. Scheduling has helped me so much. I schedule my tiny itty bitty goals, something you're trying to build, but because it's not something that is natural to you for now, you have to schedule it because you will forget or something else will happen and then you'll find your attention now going these ends or going back to the old habits which you're trying to get rid of. So I find that try to schedule, try to prioritize. That word kills me. Prioritize. That word is annoying. When you have one word that bothers you, that's the one for me. Don't leave things for when I'll do it when I do it. That thing. Schedule them. If you have a full week, schedule a week. During this week, say now, because we are starting out, I don't want to be over ambitious, but also I want to just start small, baby steps. Okay, Monday I'll do this, Wednesday I'll do this, and then Friday you also have room for other things. So you can really strive to put in whatever it is you're putting in, the work, whatever, during those 3 days, and then slowly build momentum. So just schedule. I find that scheduling has helped me. I'm still trying to, conquer discipline. Strive for discipline, but most importantly, give yourself grace. When things don't work out sometimes, life got the best of you, it's okay. Tomorrow is a new day. Do you understand? As long as you're still on the route, as long as it's still on your brain, like this is what I'm going to do, as long as you wake up the next day and you're like, to get in there, you're still fighting, and that is good. Be patient with yourself. Now it's cold. Oh, ew. We are human beings. Do you understand? We're not perfect. You will fail countless times. It's okay. Being consistent doesn't mean that you have to be perfect. On days when you feel like I've failed, oh my God, I failed, you're beating yourself up. Cara, how could you let this happen? I can't believe. No. Practice self-compassion, my love. It is very okay, darling, to backslide and do whatever and, procrastinate. It's very fine. As long as the next day you wake up and you are ready to go. Accountability. I use social media a lot of the times. By the way, what people don't know on social is that they really helped me through a lot. Sometimes you don't feel like it. I can tell them, guys, tomorrow we're going to get up early. When I wake up in the bed and I don't feel like it, but the voice is saying, but Carol, you told people. And I told people everywhere. I told them on TikTok, I told them on Insta, I told them on WhatsApp. Everyone is waiting. And what I've noticed about my audience, shout out to you guys, people can come for me. Carol, last time you told us that, now we didn't. Carol, last time did accountability can be flying. Like you guys on social don't know I use you in order to stay consistent. Because if I don't announce something, there's a possibility tomorrow I won't feel like it and I won't go. But because I said it, now I have to get up and get it done because of the promise I made to you guys. I strive to be that person. If I say, okay, I'm showing up today, unless something has happened, unless I don't know and I'm unable, then I can't. And also I've learned, like back in the day, whenever I'm unable, like I still strive. I'm like, but I can still make it. But then I start straining myself, So I started to learn, like, Carol, it's okay. If something didn't work out, it's fine. You can always redo. So I use social media most of the time, but you could speak to a friend, you could join a group. It feels good that even you'll also have like someone checking up on you, like, hey Carol, how is your journey so far? How is it going? Like, it's nice. I just wanted to share those good tips here and there. Like for me, in this case, it's me maintaining consistency, just the way I show up online, because also showing up and continuing to be social is hella part of my brand, and I always want to like show up and build connections and also continue to do the content that I hope inspires people. So it's important that I show up. It's important that people online know Caro is she's going to be there. She said she was going to be there yesterday. She's going to be there today. Do you understand? I want to build that trust, that community with people who can be like, I can rely on Carol. I can send Carol a DM and she'll respond to me. You understand? Like, I want that. And I want that healthy relationship for us. Do you understand? For us, when you're letting go of a habit, a bad habit, you cannot let it go unless you pick something else. And we hope that whatever you pick up is good. And then you strive to build this goodness as a consistent habit in your life. So you let go of the crappiness, you bring out the amazing stuff. And that's what I hope for you guys. Personally, I'm still on this journey. And as always, I will always come here and share some tips. But I will tell you for free. City doctor, city professional in these things. I'm just sharing what I experience. I'm still learning heavy as a human being. And I love that I continue to learn. It's very exciting for me to always learn something new. It makes me so happy. And when I learn something, I can't wait to run on here and share with you guys. So I hope you enjoyed this vlog. And I just hope I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully we shall be out of the house because the weather is doing the most. The weather is sick. Oh my God, guys, the weather is so bad. I don't know what to do. The weather is beyond me. But I'll see you guys at the next one.